Okay, hello everybody. I just thought I would pop on here today and show you my process for painting roses. And what we're going to do today are these three that we have here. We have a pink rose, a yellow rose, and a violet rose, or purple. These were all made out of two colors. This one was made out of naphtha red and white. This is medium yellow and white. If you have yellow ochre, that would probably do better. I just tried to pick a color that I thought everybody may have in their kit, and this is violet and white. And we're not focusing on the leaves. I just put that in so you can get a sense of the entire painting. But I did make swatches, so you can see this is the swatch for the red rose, and it starts out here. This is straight out the tube with nothing added, and these are all the colors that you can make by just adding white to it. And then that's our green, which I chose a cad green. I just reached in and grabbed one. You can use any green you want. And this is the green mixed with white, and the green mixed with white and a little bit of red, which makes it knocks down the red. It gives it a grayish tone. So here you go. That's that. This is the yellow rose, and this is the medium yellow straight out the tube, nothing added, all the way down to the lightest shade I could get without turning it white. Each time I just added a little bit of titanium white, a little more titanium white to each swatch, and again cad green mixed with white with a dash of yellow in it. And this is the violet. This is violet straight out the tube, nothing added. And again, all the way down to the lightest color I could get without turning it completely white. Cad green, mixed with white, dash of violet. Okay, all these colors on these swatches were made by two colors. You do not need a butt ton of colors to learn how to paint. You don't even need the best paint. This is some cheapy paint right here. I'm about to show you. Let me go ahead and show you this. Cheapy paint that I got from our local, I believe it was Walmart. This came from, out of a kit. They're all acrylic. This is acrylic paint. Violet, cad green, medium yellow, and the white I used Folk Art. Cheap craft paint. And they do have titanium white in that. And then the red is Essentials. None of it is expensive paint. And let's go over the brushes. Now, you do not have to use the exact colors I use. You do not have to use the exact brushes I use. Whatever you have is fine. Now, for the red and yellow rose, I used, what size is this? A 5/8 angular brush. And then at the end, to add details for all three, I used a little strip liner. And if you don't have this, that's fine. Use the smallest brush you have. Now, except for the lavender, let me talk to you about the lavender, not lavender, but the violet rose. I used, instead of the angle brush, I used a number 6 filbert. And also, the purple one is painted in a different way. And I'll get to that in a minute, but these are the three brushes that these were painted with. You can use, like I said, whatever you have. A palette, I use cardboard. This is the palette from testing and doing my test run on the roses. This is the palette, all the colors on it. And I used to use glass, but I'm gonna tell you what, cardboard, I love cardboard. Every piece of cardboard I can get my hands on, I keep. But I will start with a fresh one for this video. Okay. So, oh, and of course you need a cup of water. So over here to the side, and something to paint on. You can use canvas, you can use paper, you can use watercolor paper, you can use cardboard, you can use wood, whatever you have. Okay, so we're going to go to a fresh piece, and let me go ahead and tell you guys this. In no way, shape, or form a professional. I'm self-taught. Everything I've learned, I've taught myself. Through watching YouTube videos, of course. That's how everybody learns anything these days. YouTube videos and Skillshare. I rave about Skillshare. It's wonderful. You get a free month's trial. You need to try it. Try the art classes. They have wonderful teachers on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first one we're going to do is the red. We're going to do the red rose. So let's put this to the side. Make sure you can see this. Alright, so let's put our red paint down. Won't need much. I hope you guys can see this. I can't tell. Dash of red. It's a little bit more than what I want to put down, but that'll be okay. And white. That's the two colors we're going to use. Red and white. Okay, and we're going to start with our angular brush for this. Or whatever brush you have is fine. Whatever brush you feel comfortable using. Oh, you also probably need a rag. I use old cut up towels, t-shirts, whatever. Okay. And your first go, oh, hold on, I need to do one thing. As I can wait to mark off different sections for each rose. Okay, so red, yellow, and the purple. Okay. So your first layer is going to be straight from the tube, whatever red you choose to use. This red is going to be your shadow. This is going to mimic any shadows in your flower. Okay. Now, if you think your red that you choose to use is too light, you can add a dash of black to it, or maybe raw umber. I wouldn't use a lot. You just need a dot. Black will take it over fast. But I'm going with straight red and just start making marks. That's what I do. I start making marks. And these flowers will be like looking down, face up at you. I will be doing a video on perspective. That'll probably be my next one. This is what I do. Just start making marks. Went a little too far out of there, but that's okay. Okay. And it's important that you let each layer dry in between, or as you start adding your lighter colors, it's just going to mix and it'll be pointless. So we need to let this dry. You can use a hair dryer, which is what I do. Let me get my hair dryer. It's right in here. Okay. I'm gonna dry it. Should take but a second. Acrylic paint dries super fast, so problems. If you don't have a hair dryer, we'll take it but a few minutes. You pause the video, let it dry, and then continue. Okay, that should be good enough. Drop that. Okay, and now we're going to start adding light. Each layer is going to be a little bit lighter until we get to a white straight from the tube, which is what I add to the end of all my flowers. I had straight white. You do not have to do this if you decide you like your flower the way it is. When we get to the lightest shade of red, that is fine. Okay, so we're going to start with white. Get a little bit of water. Start pulling your red out. And adding white. We're going to go up a shade each time. You don't want to be too white on this go. You just want to be a little bit lighter than your base layer. Okay, and you can always test it out like that. And that is actually a little bit too dark. I want to go a little bit lighter. Okay, there we go. And we're going to come in and start mark making again. You're just going to add your lighter colors wherever you want to go. And I always make try to make little circles around where the center of my flower is going to be, especially when it's a rose. And try to leave your center dark. Don't hit your center with any of your light colors. Unless you want to. Now, if you want to, hey, go ahead. Okay, and then that's that. And we rinse off and let this dry. I know you're probably thinking, well, that's a hot mess, but just hold on. Trust the process. Trust the process. Every painting has an ugly stage. Okay, no matter actually going to heat up my hair dryer again. Now we're going to go a little bit lighter than this. We're going to continue, which is what we're going to do. Drag some of this down, wet my brush, drag some of this down, and start adding white to it. Okay. And then start mark making again. See how I'm going around my center, but I'm being very careful not to hit that flower center. You don't want to lose that. I mean, you can always put it back, but it's just easier to be aware of it. Makes things easier. It's looking too light. And it's really just a guessing game. You're just adding paint until you get a color that you like. This is a little bit lighter than what I wanted. Let's see. Okay, that should do it. Around the center again. And I'm turning the brush. If you'll notice, I turn my brush at different angles. Hold it toward the tip. Where am I at? Yeah, hold it toward the tip. So you get that loose feel. And I turn it. Okay. Again, we're going to dry. And you want to try not to cover up your base layer. You want some of that peeking through because, like I said, that's acting as the shadow for your flower. Okay, so let's add some more white to this. Keep adding white to get the color that you want. Around the center. Be careful. Cover your center up. Be aware. And you kind of get little fatter lines toward the edge and tighter ones in the middle. If you notice, that's kind of how I'm doing this. Okay. And you don't have to worry about making a mistake. I don't worry about making a mistake because it's so funny how the brain works. I could have literally just left that red circle there and added some green around it, and your brain is going to say, oh, that's a flower. So, yeah, let's try this. I kind of like how dark this is right here in this one little spot. I wish I'd kept that as my center, but it's okay. I'm going to stick with my initial plan. And we're adding more white. And this is going to be our next to last layer. Our next layer will be straight white. Alright. And we're going in and we are just making marks. That's all you're doing. Making your flower the shape that you want it to be. Now it starts taking form. These lightest layers help to take that shape that you want. So this is where you build your shape at. When you start building your shape. And I may also show you how I go in and deepen my shadows if I think I've lost too many of them. We'll do that also. I might go a little bit darker over here. So there's really no wrong way to do this. It's your flower. You can look however you want it to look. Okay. And a lot of times I may do one side lighter than the other side because there's always a source of light. So I may do that. Just depends. Okay. Now we're going for white straight out the tube. And this is when I change to my smallest brush, which is my strip liner, but you can use whatever brush you have. Can you see this? Okay, smallest brush with it. We're going to pull some white. Okay, and I definitely hold it during this process towards the tip. You want to do this very loosely. And wherever center. And the harder you press down, if you're using a little strip liner like this, the harder you press down, the thicker your line will be. And the lighter the touch, the smaller your line will be. Okay. Now I think I'm going to go back in really quick before I do my final touch. We'll go back in with just this red, no white mixed in at all. And we're going to pull our shadow color back out in case it got lost in a few places. And what I always do is I always stick to where my shadow is already peeking through to darken anything. I stick where it's already at. I'm just helping it pop out a little bit more. So I'm going to work on the center, darken that center up. So in case you lost it, no big deal, you can always bring it back out. Sorry, I have allergies or something going on today. I don't know. Our weather's been like in the hundreds. And then yesterday, all of a sudden, it drops to maybe 80s, early 90s. So that's pretty cool for us right now. And I got a feeling a lot of people are going to be on the sick side because of that. Okay. Now, if you want to develop more shadow, because, you know, I think this could use a little bit more, you can always just take your red straight out and put shadows where you want them. This is your flower. You do what you want to do. And I prefer to paint out of my head. I can, and I have. I really don't like following a reference photo. If I look at a reference photo, it's just for ideas. I try not to paint it verbatim. Like, I don't follow its script. Okay. And I'm going to add something over here. Alright. And then the next thing is going to be our final layer. And this is the one that, you know, it's totally up to you if you do this or not. I use white straight out the tube again, and I just make little squiggly marks on top of my flowers. I don't know why. It's something I like to do. So I load my brush up with white, a lot of it, and I want it to flow. So you need to add water. Okay. I'm going to come over here and we'll just add some marks in different places I lay down. I try to lay next to the shadows to bring those out a little bit more. But you can put it anywhere you like. Edges a little bit with it if you want to. Alright, there we go. That's our red one. And then just to pull it together, we'll throw some green on there. And when I do my leaves, I always let them overlap onto the flower so the flower doesn't look like it's sitting in the middle of nowhere. It's floating. That gives the painting some depth. So add some white to this kind of dark. You can take a dash of your red, doesn't take much, to knock that green down some. And just start adding where we want to add a leaf. And I'll do a video on adding leaves and foliage, but today is just try to help pull it together a little bit. So however you want to do it, it's fine. It's your flowers, it's your leaves. Do it the way you want to do it. Okay. Take my script liner again, and I might just do a little bit of red over here just to tie it in a little bit more. Just like this. And that'll be it for that. Okay? Alright, and the next one will be our yellow one. And we're going to start pretty much the same way. I'm going to start with your angle and just start making marks. Again, at marks, no rhyme or reason. I'm going to lighten it up as I go through until we get to white straight out tube. So here's our yellow. It is yellow deep that I'm using. And here's our white, which I could have pulled from that one. I guess that was a waste. Okay. Start by just making marks. These will be our shadows again, just like the pink one. The lavender one is the one we're going to start with a solid round circle and work our way up. I'll let you decide which one you like the best. Stick out this one a little bit. We'll put some petals out this way. Didn't do that in the test run, but it's okay. Alright. I'm going to let this dry. If you don't think your yellow is opaque enough to be a shadow color for you, you can add white to it, just a dash of white, and it will bring the opaqueness out instead of being so transparent. Or again, you can use any color you like. Yellow ochre would be a good one. Lemon yellow, I'd probably stay away from. So now we start adding our white to this. Just a little bit at a time to lighten it up. Let's see, let's test this out. So, nope, a little bit more. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Some water in that a little bit. Now, to be careful with your water. The more water you add, the more transparent your paint becomes. So, you really don't need that much water to use acrylic paint, if any. Sometimes I just use straight out tube. I don't even use water. Okay. So, we're going to mark make again. And you know where you want your center to be. Mine is right here. Rinse and repeat. Yep, okay. And we're mark making again. Same process. So y'all tired of hearing me say mark making, but that's what we're doing. You're just putting marks where you want them on your flower. We're building this straight from our heads, from our imagination. No reference, no nothing. Just yours and how you want it to look. Everybody's will be different, yet beautiful. Same time. Okay, so pretty much for that. Rinse your brush and dry your layer. Again, you're just going up a shade with your white each time. You're just going up a shade. Reach in and grab a white, start blending. Don't add too much water. The more water you add, the more transparent your color becomes. Like I said, you do not need a lot of water to paint with acrylics. No matter what anybody said, you can use it straight from the tube. Okay. And I think that might be before right there. Let's see. Yep, okay, and here we go. Going around the center. Twist and turn your brush. Get different angles, different perspectives, different marks. Okay. Let's grab some light color here. Yellow is kind of tricky to do. Yellow is a little bit tricky. And I love the big, thick brush strokes. that mine make, my brush makes. When I paint, I don't like blending mine out. Some people do. That's totally up to you. Make it a little bit darker right here. Okay. Rinse. And dry. Now I do have a little bit of red coming out on mine. I know this is kind of a little peachy, but that's okay. Not a big deal. I actually do like this peachy color, honestly. When you're painting, if it's not a commissioned piece that somebody's paying you for, that has to look a certain way, it's not a big deal. And this is pretty much going to be straight white that we're gathering up on our brush now. And here we go. So around our center. Straight white is what's gonna bring this yellow flower out. So we definitely want that. You don't want too much. You don't want to cover up your shadows. And I'm definitely going to be going back in, bringing my shadows back out for this flower. The yellow is very tricky to work with, and your shadows can get lost easily. It's very light. We want to have some darkness in this flower. Okay. Alright, now let's switch to our script liner so we can build our shadows back up. Or the smallest brush you have is fine. We're going to go into our yellow, straight yellow, no white. Just like we did with the red, we're going to build our shadows. In our center. If you lost your center, now's the time to build it back up. And you can add shadow wherever you prefer, wherever you want. It's your flower. I tend to, like I said, follow what I've already built here. I just build on how it's already forming. Hair dryer again. And then we're going to go in with our straight white and our script liner. The part that I do personally for mine, you don't have to. Take it or leave it. I made this one, I feel like I made this one a bit too narrow, too long. I'm going to fix that with leaves, so it's nothing to be worried over. Okay, let's go in with our straight white. This is straight white out of the tube, no color at all. Translation. Okay. sometimes I like to just lay this white right over shadows or bright spots because I feel like it kind of just brings it out more. Like right across there like that. See how I done that side, right beside it? Starting to blend now. I gotta get some more white. Okay. That's too thick. Fix that just a second. Actually, I like that. Let me leave that. I love thick brush strokes. Love, love, love. Impressionist style. Okay. Impasto, impressionist, thick brush strokes. Nice. Alright. I'm going to dry this. I'm going to add some leaves. To add our leaves. Let me see if this is dried up any. No, I think we're good. Okay, so this is green and white. And a dab of yellow. Since we're doing a yellow rose, we're going to use yellow in our leaf. Which I love. I love the hint of yellow in the leaves. Love, love, love. Cover. It's a bit transparent. Let's do this. We'll fix it, no problem. Nothing to stress about. Okay, now I said I had it a little too narrow, so I'll fix it. Oh, it looks like it's got Mickey Mouse ears on. Hold on. Okay, come around like that. And we'll put one over here in this corner. Right up in here. And this is just to add foliage, add greenery. I will give you a demonstration on leaves soon. This is not how I paint my leaves, just so you know. This is just to pop it in here for right now. So nothing to stress about. This isn't about leaves, it's about the flower. Okay. Put some right here. Right. And then I like to take this smaller brush, pop some color in. Like there might be an out of focus one over here, or just to tie it together a little bit. Okay. And then we'll take this and pop some white in there with it. And I'll let it mix up. And there you go. That's your yellow. Alright. Now we're going to do the lavender. Okay. Now the lavender is the one that I used the filbert. Number 6 filbert, use whatever you have. I'm going to use the filbert and the strip liner. So we're going to get rid of the ink. Okay. And we're going to get our lavender paint. Again, little chibi paint for one more. That's what we're using. Pop it down right here. Now lavender will not take much, it does not take much to lighten lavender. And I'm not even going to put more white out, we're going to use this. Okay. It doesn't take much to lighten lavender at all. So this one won't take long at all. This dark shadow color is perfect for the base of the flower. And how we're going to do this is not how we started the first two. We're actually just going to make a circle in this one. We're going to paint a circle. However big you want your flower to be. Again, this is the shadow part, okay? No white. Straight your purple or lavender or blue or orange or whatever color you decide to use right now. Because like I said, I'm just showing you my technique. Do not have to follow my exact colors. Okay. I want it to come out this way a little bit more. There we go. And if your paint is kind of draggy, what I mean by draggy is it's not seeming to spread or flow easy, just add a dab of water and you can keep pulling on it. Alright, so we'll let this dry. This is our base. You see the difference how we just made a circle instead of random organic shapes? Okay. And I paint both ways. I prefer this one, the organic mark making, but I will use this one every now and again. Okay. Well, we're gonna dry this. Okay. Colors. Okay. Dry this. Okay, we're going to start adding white. Does not take much white to start lighting this lavender up. You just need a dab. And I want 2 or 3 layers, so I don't want to go too white too fast. Too light too fast, just a dab. Depends on what colors you're using. Do I need to bring some water into that? Not much. Just a little. Let's see how this looks. Nope, I need a little bit lighter. See how I always test it, and I got some green in there, so it's going to gray it out just a little bit, but that's okay. Okay. Let's see how this looks. There we go. Alright, and you're going to start mark making it. I always start toward the center to make my tight little marks. And then I start pulling out, and I get fatter the further out I go. It doesn't take long to build a flower onto this lavender circle. It doesn't take long at all. It's already starting to look like one. Look, second layer in. It's the darkness of the lavender. It's beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. Let me get a little bit more. A few more shapes in there. And of course, this is going to dry a little bit darker, so be aware acrylic paint always dries darker than when you first lay it down. Alright, and we're going to go a little bit lighter. Got some white over here. Start mixing. Cast a shadow. Hope you guys can see. See, if you keep it like together as you're trying to lighten, you can kind of test out as you go. You know, you can kind of, you have a reference point. Kind of keep it together. Let's see. Yep, okay, and here we go. And I start in the middle, make that tight. So look how those 2 little lines just came together, so cute. Alright, and then we get fatter as we go. A little bit more, need to wet it just a little bit. Don't be scared to get in there and use your fingers to make corrections or kind of blend things. I love getting my hands in and getting paint all over myself and the floor and everything else. Okay. Alright. That's our 3rd layer, and we could call it done. We could call it done. This is a rose. Here you go. What I'm going to go think a shade lighter and then white maybe. And we'll go a shade lighter. Okay. Let's put some white. Lighten this up. Just a little bit lighter. I kind of want this to be the last layer next to our straight white out too. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start. I really don't want to get rid of those two brush strokes because I'm loving them. I'm going to try to just work around them. Okay. Found myself choking up on it. If you find yourself starting to hold your brush like this, back your hand back up to the tip. It's going to keep your strokes looser and more free. And try to work from your shoulder down, not like you're writing, not like with your hand, which I just caught myself doing a while ago. That's what made me remember to tell you guys. Kind of work from your shoulder out. Your brush strokes will be much looser. If that's what you want. If not, by all means, hold it, choke it, just however you want to do it. Okay, that's our last layer, and then now we're going to hit the white straight out too. White, I have a hint of purple in it, just a hint, not much at all. Let's grab this white and just a dot of purple, barely enough to even tell who's in it. Okay. That's how we're going to do that. Okay, all right. Let's see. A little bit lighter. Just a hair. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Tighten up around that. Okay. Oh, checking up on the brush. Listen up, Angie. All right. And like this. Quick, fast-paced, quick brush strokes. Don't think about it. Just do it. Okay. Rinse off, and we're going to move to the strip liner. Put some white down. All white, no purple at all. That is what I like to do. You don't have to. If you like the way it looks, by all means, do it. It's just my little thing that I do at the end. Okay. Strip liner. Oh, let me dry this. We'll add our green and we are done. Here we go. Grab some white, water, because you want it to flow. You don't want it dragging. Okay. And I like for it to seem a little transparent. I don't know if I mentioned that at the end. Toward the end, when I do this final touch, a little transparent. don't feel like I need to bring up any of my shadows in this one since the lavender, our initial layer, was so dark. I think I'm good. If you want to do what you can, that's fine. Just remember, straight from the tube, don't add anything, and you can follow what you've already created or go in and create your own shadows. Either way, it's fine. It's your flower. Do what you want to do. Okay. That's it for my white. And let's add some green. And we are done. I will use my angle for the leaves. Okay. Let's throw some green down. I'm using the same green for all three, but see how they're different? This is add a red, this is where I add yellow, and I'm gonna add some lavender into this one. And I love the way the red and the cad mix. I love that. It's way too much, but it's okay. Alright. Pour some green. Let's pour some. It's too much. Too much. Hold on. I don't want to mess that up. That's too much. Okay. Let's see. Grab some of that. Can you see? My light's switching up on me. Add some white. Hope you guys can see this. I'm adding lavender to the cad green and white. Just a touch. Okay. And we're going to do our leaves. Add our leaves in, our foliage. Any way you want to do it, anywhere you want to put it. It's your flower, it's your foliage, it's your leaves. I'm just here to show you technique, what my technique is, not to tell you what's right or wrong. I think any way an artist wants to paint, any colors they choose to use is right. If it's beautiful to you, it's worth painting. And see how that's gray from adding that much lavender? See the difference? Which I love. I love the toned down greens. Some people say, oh, don't use that green, don't use that blue, it's so unnatural, it's gonna look horrible, you want a nice painting, don't use that color. Use whatever color you want to use. Like some people would say they would never use this cad green, they would never use it, it's unnatural looking, it doesn't look good. I like it, so guess what, I'm gonna use it. Don't let all these rules that some artists want to put on art stop you from making art. Alright, and there we go. That's our 3 roses that we created today. 2 colors. Red and white, yellow and white, lavender, no, violet and white. Violet and white, yellow and red. With our green foliage. And each leaf has the base color, a little dab of it mixed in. Alright, I don't know what I'm going to come out with next. Maybe a leaf, maybe a foliage video, or maybe a sunflower, poppy, I don't know. Drop a comment, let me know what you guys would like to paint next. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Hold on. We forgot to add our, hold on. Looking at the, this reminded me. Hold on. Forgot to add our little out of focus thing is at the end. hold on. Let's get that in there. That helps tie it together. There we go. Popping some white. Put some white over here. I really like how that one turned out. Some white there. Smear some over here. Here we go. Okay. Now we're done. There you go. Let me know in the comments what you guys maybe want to paint in the future. This is very fun. It is my first full-length tutorial. Like I said, I am self-taught, so there are some mistakes that some professional artists probably will not do, and I do not care, so please don't mention them in the comments. I don't give a crap. Okay? You guys have a good day. Bye.